Hello friends, my name is SagarMore and today in this video we are going to learn HTML. This is the first part of our series and in this we are going to learn HTML introduction and editors. So let's start with the basics. The word HTML means hypertext markup language. What does it mean by that? Is nothing but a language which can be used to create web pages. As you can see on my screen, this is the web page. This is a very basic web page you can see on my screen, is created in 1990s. This web page is created by Tim Berners-Lee, who is inventor of HTML. As you can see in this web page, there are no fancy images or animation or effects are present because at that time only basic HTML tags were there with which this web page is created. Now, if you look closely, there are links present which can help us to go somewhere when we click on it. There is a heading also present in this web page, which is World Wide Web, and some other paragraphs are also there. So with this you can understand that a basic web page can be created with the HTML language, which is nothing but the hypertext markup language used to create web pages. The HTML language uses tags, and tags are nothing but the code which browser understands. So if you want to relate this with some other file types like MP3, then you can see the MP3 file types are opened in music player. The same way HTML has to open in browser. As you can see on my screen, I have edited that HTML file in Notepad++ editor and have written something here. Then if you go back and write something in Notepad editor, then you can save both of these files as a HTML file. Let me show you how. But before that, as you can see, the text I have written is very basic text, and there we cannot apply color to this text or link to this text. That is because the text is a simple text and not the hypertext. So what does it mean by hypertext? The meaning of hypertext is a text which contains special type of effects like bold, italic, underline, heading or link, and these effects are not possible with simple text that we type in a notepad. So in order to create such web pages, we have to type HTML code in a special kind of editors, which is nothing but the code editor. Now this hypertext is link also. So if you see, there are links, and if I click on one of the link, the other page is getting opened. I clicked on another link, then another page is getting opened. So these web pages are linked with the text on which you click and go to any other page. So this text is hypertext created with anchor tag that makes it a link. So browser understands all these tags, and you can relate it with A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if A is 1 and B is 2, then we automatically know that C is 3 and D is 4. The same way, these tags are rendered by the browser by checking what type of tag, what it does, and how to render it on the browser. So what are these tags? These tags are nothing but the information which tells the browser to render the hypertext in some effect. The effect could be anything like bold, italic, underline, link or table. In this video, we are going to create tags and create a simple web page that will help you understand how you can create a basic web page from the scratch. Now, in order to write code, we will need editor. So we can use Notepad editor, which is a default editor in our Windows, or we can use any other code editor like Notepad++ or Visual Studio Code to create our first web page. As you can see on my screen, I have opened W3 Schools, which is a website which we will use to see the topics. And now the first topic is the introduction. So as you can see, HTML is standard markup language. So it is a standard for web pages, and this standard is created and maintained by World Wide Web Consortium, which is also known as W3C. And by the way, the HTML is not a programming language. HTML is a markup language with which you can create a structure for your web page. Just imagine the example of a human body where our skeleton is a structure. So the same way the HTML is a structure, and it is easy to learn. Now there are other languages which helps HTML web page to be interactive. So these languages are CSS and JavaScript. And in our human body example, we can imagine it as the skin can be related to CSS, and we can use JavaScript for the behavior and the functionality. So we walk, we move, and we do all other stuff is nothing but the behavior. So the same way HTML is for structure, CSS is for design, JavaScript is for behavior and functionality of a web page. With the help of HTML, you can create your own website, and it is very easy to learn in a quick time. Okay, so without wasting a time, let's see how HTML code looks like. So this is a very basic example of HTML code. I clicked on try it yourself, and now you can see the code is at the left hand side and the output is at the right hand side. You can modify the code here from W3 School try it yourself editor and click on run button to see the output. Now in this code, if you look, there are different codes. So the first code, which is doctype HTML, is to declare what HTML version is used. So here it is HTML5. Now let's create a simple HTML file in our computer, and for that you can either copy this code or type your code on your own. So let's start. In our computer, we can locate to any other drive and create folder inside it for our first web page. In my case, I am creating a folder in my C drive, but if you want, you can create it in other drives also. So here I am creating a folder. Give any name you want. I will write HTML and day 1 inside it. So in this folder, go inside it and create a new file. So how to create a new file? There are other options, like you can right click here, you can go to new. As you can see, new option is also there, and go to text document, and when you click on it, the new text file will get created. Here if you look carefully, you can see the file ending with .txt extension. So now if you notice, there are file types, and to play the music we use MP3 file type. The same way for photos we use JPG, PNG and other GIF file types also. The same way the HTML file type is, or the file extension is .html. So we have to rename this file so that our browsers can open it flawlessly. So here I am changing the file extension from txt to .html. You can press enter and it will show the pop-up. Click on yes to rename this file. If you double click on it, the browser will get open, and in that you can see the output. As of now we have not written anything in this file, so that output is blank, but let's rename this file first. You can give any file name as you want, and now we have to edit this file in editor to write the code. Just do right click on this file and open it with Notepad or Notepad++ or any other code editor like Visual Studio Code. So let me open it in the Notepad first, which is a very basic code editor. I clicked on choose another app and opened it in Notepad. Now in Notepad I will write something to see the output first. Okay, so here I am writing something in this file, and you can see in the title you can see that intro.html file is open now. I have typed something, and now I'm going to double click on the file name which is stored in my folder. You can see the output, whatever I typed is appearing in the browser. Now this is a very simple text and it is not a hypertext yet. Now let me increase the font size of my text in the editor as it is very small. Okay, it looks better now. So less than symbol and greater than symbol is the starting point of the tag. Whenever you write any tag in HTML, you have to write this symbol, and inside this symbol you have to write your tag name. The very first declaration which we are going to type is document type, and that is written with the exclamation mark as a starting point. We will be writing doc type, which is nothing but HTML, that we have to type with space after writing doc type, and that tells the browser that the HTML version we are using in this file is of HTML5 and not HTML4, 3 or any other. The standard is to write all these tags and attributes and this code in small case, which is lowercase, and you should not be using the capital case for this. Although you can use and the browser will run it, but that is not the standard defined by W3C, which is World Wide Web Consortium, which governs the HTML and CSS. Now after writing declaration, we have to start with the HTML tag itself to create the first element of our web page. As I said, the tag name goes in between less than and greater than symbols, and here we have written HTML tag name within less than and greater than symbol, and that is a starting point our document. Now let me close this tag. The tags can be closed with slash, which is forward slash, and the tag name itself. So in this case we are closing this tag with slash HTML. So from the starting point to ending point, the tag is called as element. There are two tags which comes under this HTML tag. The first one is head tag. Head tag is nothing but the tag which tells the browser about the document. So we in human body have head and body. The same way in HTML document there are two tags, where the first one is head and the second one is body. Now we have written head tag, we have started head tag and ended with slash head. Now as you see, we have given some indentation, and in the indentation is nothing but the space given from the left hand side, just to tell the developer that the head tag is the child of HTML tag. The same way we are creating body tag here, which is also a child of HTML tag, and to that we have also given indentation, which is nothing but the left hand side space. Now as you can see on my screen, there are two tags we have created as a child of HTML, and those are head and body, along with doc type, which is not the HTML child but it is the document declaration. Even if you don't write the document declaration, then also you will be able to see the output, but it is always recommended that you write the documentation declaration at the top. This helps browser to know what version of HTML you are using and how to render those HTML5 tags in the browser. Whatever you write inside body, that you will be able to see in the white portion of our browser, and whatever you write in the head, that some of the elements like title in the head you will be able to see at the top of your browser tab here, like the document title is given for this website in the tab head. In our example also, head and body tags are present, and we will be writing code inside it to see the output. Now I have written some text and you can see the output in the browser. And whatever you write inside head, that will be shown in the tab head. So there is a tag like title, which is a child of head tag, with which we can give title to our tab. So let's write it. Title is the tag. We have to close this with slash title, and whatever you write inside this, that will become the title of our tab. So right now the file name is our title of the current tab, which is the default behavior of the browser to show the file name. And if I write something here in the title tag and save it and refresh it, now see the output. You will be able to see this my first web page text as a title of our browser tab. Let me refresh the page to show you the output. Let's see. Let me refresh the page. Yeah, here it is. If you see the title of the current tab, it is now changed to the title which we have given in the code. If you look at the code, you will be able to see the indentation is given to the title tag also. Now this text which we are able to see in the body, that is a plain text and not the hypertext yet. I am writing this is my first web page text and refresh it. It is being shown, but there are no bold, italic or other effects are being applied yet. And if I refresh it, the same is being shown. Now let's look at the syllabus what we have. We have already seen that it is hypertext markup language and it is a standard, and it is used to create the web pages. It describes structure of a web page. So the structure is a basic layout or the tags which we write in our body tag just to illustrate the web page layout, and that we create with the tags. Now these tags are also called as elements, and as I told you that the starting of our tag and the ending of our tag consist of an element. So from start to end the tags is called as element. The interviewer may ask you what is the meaning of tag and the meaning of element and the meaning of attribute, and you should describe it thoroughly. Like as I mentioned, head and body tags are two child of HTML tag, but head and body tags are also elements because from the start to end the tag is called as element. So this title tag from starting point to ending point, the whole element is present as an element and not only as a tag, because it consists of text also, which is my first web page, and that is a part of this title element. So tag is just tag name, but the element is the whole tag from the starting point to ending point. I hope I am clear. If you see, the head tag is also the same way written. It has starting point and ending with slash head. Now this head is a parent of title tag, and HTML is parent of head tag, HTML is parent of body tag also. What it tells you? It tells you that there is a nesting of tags, and in HTML it is a very common to nest elements inside other elements. Now this title is the child of head, and it is given in the head tag with the indentation. Why indentation is necessary is because if you see the whole code, the indentation helps us visualize or understand the code better way. Each element in web page has its own purpose. Like title has purpose to set the title to our tab. The same way, other elements will have other purposes. Like B tag will have bold purpose, which is nothing but to apply bold effect to the normal text. We will see it in the future. For now, let's understand the basics of HTML. Now, let's see other important tags which are present in our web page. The first tag is H1. H1 is the heading 1 tag, which tells the browser that this is the main heading in a web page. There are heading types like H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. So there are total 6 heading types present in our HTML. The H1 is big in size, the H2 is smaller than H1, and the same goes till H6. So H6 is the smallest heading. There is another tag you can see on my screen, which is the paragraph tag, and it is used to create the paragraph text. It is denoted with the P. We have to open it and close it the same way we open and close H1 tag and write our code inside it. So as we can see, both texts are written in both the tags, and we should be using paragraph tags in scenarios where paragraph is there. It should not be done that heading is written inside paragraph or paragraph is written inside heading, but the appropriate tag should be used for appropriate use. Let me run this example. As you can see, whatever I have written in H1 is very big in size compared to the paragraph, and it is given for the heading in a web page. It is recommended that we should be using H1 tag only once in a single web page, because it tells the browser or Google web crawlers, and it is also used in SEO, which is search engine optimization, to tell the search engine that H1 is the main heading and it should give a priority to heading which is denoted by H1, and it will determine that okay, in this web page the H1 having the most priority and it should be treated as a heading of our article. Now here I have written H1 tag in our code, and we can see the output in the browser. The same way we can write H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6 tags also, and let's see the output of those elements as well. I have copied this H1 tag and pasted it 5 times. So there are 6 tags in the body. Let me rename it as H2 open and H2 close. The same way H3, H4, H5 and H6 I will be writing as opening and closing tag. Make sure you do not do any mistake while writing the code, and let's see the output. So here is the output with the series of elements which consist of H1 to H6, and H1 is being the most big size and H6 is the smallest heading. Now I have given H7 also, but as you can see H7 has no effect in it because H7 is not the tag in HTML. There are only 6 headings present, and if you write H7, H8 or something like that, it will be treated as normal text and not the heading. Now let me write the paragraph tag also. This is my information, is my text, and I am Sagar More. So this line I have written inside the paragraph tag. Let's see the output in the browser. Make sure you open and close the tags correctly with less than, greater than bracket as a starting point, and inside it you should write P as a paragraph. And I have refreshed the page and we can see the output. If you see, H1 to H6 text is bold and paragraph text is not bold. If I remove the paragraph, then also I will be able to see the output, but it will not have any margins from top and bottom. So margin is nothing but the space created for the paragraph. So you should always write paragraph tag whenever the paragraph is there, instead of just writing the text here and there. You can see the paragraph margin in orange color in my browser. This is the way to check the elements box model by doing inspect element. You will be doing this in future series videos. I will tell you how to do inspect element and how to debug the code. Now remember that HTML is root element, which is nothing but the base element. Head is used for the information about the document, and that information is given to the browser for understanding purpose. Title is the tag which we have used in the head, which tells the browser what title should be given to the tab. And body is the main element where we write all the code which we want to see in the white area, which is body area in the browser. We have written H1 and paragraph tag also to see how the effect is getting applied. So for H1 the bold effect was applied, and I also mentioned that tag name start to tag name end, and also the text in it is all consistently called as element. So H1 was the element, paragraph was also the element. The same way body, head, title or HTML itself is also an element in the document. And there is BR tag also, which is used to give the line break. The same way we press enter in our document to go to the next line. In coding, we have to write BR tag, which is break tag, to give line break. If I write any spaces, that is not getting shown in the browser, right? So this space is not getting shown because whatever you write here, it has to be in terms of code, and the spaces or enters does not apply to the browser as output. Let me write the BR tag to give the line break. Here is the BR tag, and you should not close this BR tag as any other tag like this slash and BR. You should not write this. So I am removing it. If you want to close it, you can just give forward slash here before the greater than bracket, because this tag is empty tag. So there are two types of tags in HTML: empty tags and non-empty tags. Empty tags are the tags which are closed immediately, and non-empty tags are the tags like title and body and H1 are closed separately, but the BR is not closed separately. It is closed there itself without writing it twice. By the way, for now, if you don't close that BR tag with forward slash, that is okay. But in future, React.js technology is there where you have to close it. So it is always better to close that empty tags as always. Okay, so now we have seen the structure of HTML, which is HTML is a root element. It starts and ends as a non-empty tag, and inside the HTML there are two sections. First one is head and the second one is body. These two sections are child of HTML tag, which is parent or the root element, we can say. In this head tag and body tag there are other tags which are nested in this. As you can see, head tag has title and body tag has h1 paragraph and another paragraph. So the same way we can write another paragraph for 3 or 4 times also. The title tag is present in head and it is nested inside HTML, and head and body are siblings. They are not parent of each other or they are not child of each other, but the h1 paragraph and another paragraph is child of body tag, and these three tags will be shown in the body area of the browser when you open the file. So this is a basic structure of a web page. This is a history of HTML. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee invented www, which is World Wide Web, and in 1991 he invented HTML, and so on. There is a history, you can go through it. It is present on the internet, but the more important part is we should be able to learn and write code in HTML. There are other versions of HTML like HTML3, 4, or the current version is HTML5, and for that only we have written document type definition, which is doc type declaration at the top of our code. And currently HTML5 version is the present version at this point of time, and that's why we have used doc type HTML, which is a very easy way to tell the browser what type of version we are using, because previously for HTML3 or 4 some long code was being used, which a normal human won't be able to remember it, and we have to copy it from somewhere on the internet and paste it there. So now they have made it very easy, and it is all because of W3C, which is World Wide Web Consortium, which is an organization which invent or generate or governs the HTML and CSS code. And now let's move on to the next topic, which is editor. In this chapter we will see different types of editors. Like in our window there is Notepad editor, which is a basic editor. Then this is Notepad++, which is code editor. Notepad is a simple text editor where you do not see line numbers or the color code highlighted text which tells us like what is missing in our code and all. There are no other fancy tools or utilities present in this editor because it is a default editor which is used for only text editing and not the code editing. You can use it as a code editor, but it will be difficult for you to use other options which are present in other code editors, which helps the developer to write the code in a better way. But if you want, you can use this also if you have not installed any other editor in your Windows like Notepad++ or Visual Studio Code. I am writing code here, HTML and other code, and we can use that. There is no issue. Let me write the code in this. So head and body tags I have written here. This is another way to create a HTML file where you don't go in your folder and right click and choose new text file, but you open the notepad itself and save your code with Ctrl S, or you can go to file and save. Select your destination where you want to save the file. I'm saving it here in my folder, and if you see the save file name you have to write and the extension also. So I am writing some file name here, and I will also write the extension as .html because the default is txt. So xyz is my file name and html is the extension. Make sure that you select the save as type drop down, and from there you choose all files, because if you don't do that, the file may get created as txt, which is a text file, and you don't want that. You want html file. So either you write xyz.html, so the html file will get created, or you write xyz is a file name, and from the drop down save as type you choose all files and then write .html there. It's always good practice to save file with the extension, and don't miss this. So let me save this file. This is now saved in my location. You can see this xyz.html file is created. I opened it and this is blank because I have not written anything in it. You can do open with and notepad again, but make sure that you do not open the same file again and again in notepad, because there will be different notepads open in your computer and you will be confused which one to edit. So always open only one notepad for a particular file, means open the file in one editor only. Now here I have written heading with the br tag to use line breaks, and there are two br tags I have used, and you can see the output. Wherever I have used br tag, from there the text is going to the next line. Now Notepad is the default text editor in Windows. The same way TextEdit is the default for Mac OS. You can use your favorite text editor. You can download any other text editor or the code editor like Notepad++ or Bracket or Sublime or Visual Studio Code. There are many in the market. In this website, the steps to open the notepad or steps to open the text edit, which is a text editor for Mac, is given. You can follow these steps to open these codes and write your HTML code in it, and as I mentioned before, save it as HTML. And once you save that as HTML extension, as a HTML file type, then you will be able to open the file in the browser. Make sure that you save it as HTML and not the text. That is the most important part. When you open the file in the browser, you will be able to see the output. And if you want, you can also use this website's try it yourself editor, which will help you to try some tags or do some stuff on your own without creating any file. So at the left hand side you have to write the code, and at the right hand side you will see the output of that code when you hit the run button. Here I am copy pasting the same tag again and again, and if I click on run button, you will be able to see the output of all this code which I have written. So with this way you don't need to save the file in your computer, and you will be able to do the code online or the practice HTML online with the help of this try it yourself editor offered by W3 School website. Let me click on this run button, and as you can see the output, there are different tags present in the code, and the output of it is present at the right hand side below the heading. Different paragraphs are created. Instead of typing, you can also copy whole code from this website and paste it in your file to minimize the work. But if you are a beginner, I recommend you to please type on your own to improve your skills. Make sure that you always write doc type at the top of your HTML code, and the first part or the starting of the element starts with the HTML tag itself, which is a root tag. As we have learned in this video, we have to create two sections in the HTML tag, which is head, and inside head we have to write title tag. We have to always give indentation to make the code look better, and body tag I am writing here. These two sections are very important. In the head we have to write title tag, and we need to close the title tag as it is the non-empty tag. Write some text in it to see the heading of the tab, and why we are writing it again is just to revise whatever we have learned, and it is a summary of what we have learned in this video. We can type any tag here and the text in the tag that makes it an element. Make sure that you do not write heading in paragraph and always write paragraph in heading. If you do so, it will also work. But if possible, make sure that headings, paragraphs, and other tags are used differently, because these tags are created for its own unique purposes. So I am writing h1 tag above the paragraph as it is my heading and not the paragraph, and then we can write any other text in the paragraph. This is what we have learned in this video, and this is what you need to follow as a beginner. Now let's write something in the paragraph to see the output. Okay, you can differentiate between the font size of heading and paragraph. The h1 is the big heading and biggest of all other headings from h1 to h6, and paragraph is a normal text which has the default font size set by the browser. You can always increase that with the help of CSS. Going forward, we will learn that also in our video series, as this is a complete course of HTML, and I will be publishing other technologies videos as well. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can always comment down below the video. If you liked this video, I request you to share it with your friends and family so they will also learn this. And if you subscribe to this channel, then and then only you will be able to get the latest videos, because you will get to know when the video is published. So you don't need to wait, or you don't need to visit again to my channel to see whether the latest video has come up or not. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any next video. Okay, that's all I had to share in this video. Make sure that you always practice and write code on your own. You can visit this website for more information and watch other videos which I have published on my channel. Make sure you like the video, comment down below if you have any question, and share the video with your friends and family. Thank you so much.